Good evening. So it's a new week, new opportunities. So I thought I would put another video together for you to help you to liberate your mind. Um, so today I want to talk about why it's so difficult to change and why. Have you ever heard yourself say this or someone else say this? I hear this all the time. Um, I can't seem to shake this habit, or why does this keep happening to me? Or what is it that's stopping me? I know what I need to do, but another week goes by and I'm not doing it. And I'm going to use this video to try and give you some insight into what's going on and what you can do about it. So coming from a therapist and a coach point of view, this is kind of a big deal in terms of the kind of people that I will work with and the ones that I won't. Because I won't work with just anybody. I will have a consultation with those people. I don't like to call it a consultation, but it's basically for both people, right? It's to see if you are a good fit to work together. And what I'm trying to find out, in fact, before they've even sat in the chair, I will send them out like a questionnaire and some things to sort of fill in so that I can get a real picture of what they're going through and what it is they want to come and see me for. And the reason I do this is because what I'm looking for is that they're ready and that they're serious. Because a lot of people think that going to see a therapist or a coach is the only bit of responsibility they need to take, in the sense that someone else is going to do this. They're going to fix me. They've got a magic wand and they're going to sort me out. Just a bit like the kind of people, and I actually have been this guy where, you know, you start a new hobby and you buy all the best gear, all the top of the range stuff, and you're really excited about it, and you basically invest all your money into it, and then you're excited for a little while and you do it for a little while, and then suddenly it just falls along the wayside. And the reason is because a lot of us, we don't have the patience, we don't have the staying power, we don't have the commitment. We want to be good straight away. And the reality is it doesn't work like that. So the moment that things start getting a bit difficult, or it loses that novelty factor, then we let it fall along the wayside. And so when I have all of these clients coming through, and I give them that questionnaire, I'll get that back, and I think, yeah, if that's going to work out, we'll have a consultation. And within that consultation, especially if it's something like smoking, like if it's not an 8 out of 10, that's how badly they want to give up, then forget it. Like it's not worth their time or my time, because they're not ready to give up. And even if it's an 8, I'll say, well, why isn't it higher than that? Why isn't it a 9 or a 10? And we'll find out very quickly that actually it is. It's just that there's just a little part of them that still wants to hang on to that. But the moment that I explain to them that there is another way of getting the same outcome but in a healthier way, then they say, well, then there really is nothing left to get in the way. So, and again, I won't generally let someone become a coaching client until I've made sure that there's no therapy that needs to be done. So what I want to get into now is explaining why this is important, because we are all running on these patterns, these beliefs, these mechanisms that drive us, and a lot of them are conditioned. Some of the biggest problems that if someone's got trauma, or they've got some kind of coping mechanism in place, it doesn't matter how good the coaching conversation is and what they put into place, they won't follow through, especially if it's a stressful time. And of course, it's a very stressful time for everybody at the moment. And the reason for that is because we go into autopilot. And I say it time and time again, but it comes down to this. When you say at the beginning of the week, I really must do that thing this week, if you do not put anything in place to make sure that there's no way you can forget that, you won't do it. And it doesn't matter like how, you've got to really make a change, because the moment you stop thinking consciously for a moment, you go back into your programming. And unfortunately, with technology these days, we are very rarely conscious. Like phones, TV, Any kind of technology like that, it's hypnosis. You are in a trance. What is a trance? Or hypnosis, actually there's slightly two different between the two, but hypnosis is basically when you are completely focused on one thing. Entirely with your conscious and unconscious, you're focused on one thing. You've tuned out to the world. And you're very suggestible when you're in that state, especially if what you're reading is very emotional, because all hypnosis is something that is making you feel an emotion and you go into an altered state of awareness. You've got that focus on the thing, and then when they create emotion in you, like an advert, for example, you are highly suggestible, and with certain language patterns, they can make you buy anything. So when you are constantly on your phone or constantly on your TV, you are being programmed. Literally, that's why they call them TV programs. So most people's excuse is, I don't have time. Now, for me personally, I can be honest, and I said this on Facebook this morning, I was on screens for up to 6 hours, maybe more a day, because you get that feedback. And it was a real kind of wake-up call for me, especially after I saw the Netflix documentary called The Social Dilemma, which explained how social media and just generally like TV and things, they hold our attention. They learn. The more you interact with it, the more it learns what grabs your attention. Its whole job, its currency is your attention. And the more it can actually stimulate you to keep picking that phone up and being drawn into that, the more money is made. So every app, every video, every advertisement is just tailored to you, because the more they get you sucked in, the more money they're going to make. So enough about that. The point I'm trying to make is this. If you want to retake control of your life, you're going to have to stay conscious and present, which means changing your behavior patterns consciously, putting things in place so that you cannot keep going into your conscious patterns. For example, when I realized I was on social media so much and various things on my phone, I had to make some changes. I don't ever take the phone in the bedroom. I turn it off at night. I would remove the apps from my phone. So even when the unconscious part of me would pick the phone up and go to look for it, it's not there. Suddenly I'm conscious again. And I can then choose to put the phone back down. And it actually amazed me how addicted I was, because suddenly you're being made aware of what your unconscious patterns and behaviors are. So I encourage you to, and the other thing, of course, the last thing is, as I've said, so you've got to identify there's an issue. You've then got to put the things into place. And then you've got to stick to your guns. You've got to be consistent. And the difference between most people, the ones that succeed, the ones that are successful, the ones that follow through, are the ones that actually are consistent, and they do what they say they're going to do. They take action, whether they feel like it or not. So this is where the coaching idea comes in. You've got to get really clear about why you're doing what you're doing. And if it's something that you're doing that you don't want to do anymore, you've got to not only put the things in place to stop that, not only be motivated to actually change that, but then you've got to take the action, and you've got to be consistent no matter whether you feel like it or not. Because here's the thing, you will never feel like it. So you can't wait, or you can't, like if you know that your thing is you want to go running, and it means that the only time that you've identified that you can do that consistently is in the morning before you go to work. Chances are every morning you're going to wake up if the alarm goes, and especially in the winter, you hear that noise. If you wait for longer than 5 seconds, forget it. Because the first thing is the voice is going to go, right, I need to get up now. And then it will kick in. The emotional center of your brain will go, oh, I don't feel like it, we'll do it tomorrow. It's warm in this bed, whatever it is. So you can't let it talk you out of it. The moment you hear that alarm, you've got to move. You've got to get up. And you've got to have these things in place so that there's no way you can forget. The more things that you can change about your routine, post-it note here, alarm going off there, like equipment by the door. Like if you know you're someone that forgets, because you're always up in your head thinking, or you're on your phone like a zombie. You need to put things in place so you will literally bump into them if you don't do what you say you're going to do. And if you are serious and you do plan and you take action and you commit to it and you're consistent no matter how you feel, you will achieve it. I went from 6 hours down to 2 hours a day, and it feels good. But I don't feel like I've lost anything because I've replaced it with things that make me feel good. Being creative, meditating, going out in nature, doing yoga. I've started drawing again. I've started playing music again. I'm going to start writing music again. I am doing all kinds of things that light me up. And then suddenly I've got all this time on my hands because I don't have a TV license anymore. I'm not watching the TV. I'm not interested in the news. If it's important, I will find out about it. But it doesn't help me to just keep going through all the fear porn. It doesn't help to make me feel stressed, because the moment I move from here down into the emotional center of my brain, everything's harder. The world looks terrible. Suddenly, I'm demotivated. What's the point? You know, I'm going to be sluggish. I'm going to be reaching for the junk food. All of these things are normal and natural when you're in a survival mode mechanism. And most people are right now because they're on their phones like zombies being hypnotized, or watching the news. You've got to break out of this old glued in thing, and you've got to start to wake up. And if you do that, you'll feel great. Do something that you haven't done. Be creative. Find your thing. But you've got to be the difference between someone that just starts and then lets all their old habits and emotions and their mechanisms kick in. But you don't have to do it alone. If you need some help, some guidance, have a look at my videos. They're all free. There's lots of ideas and goal setting tips and things. I might do another one shortly on goal setting. But take control of your life and start to become present and conscious. I highly recommend some meditation, some mindfulness, something that's going to bring you back to reality. Because the moment that you don't do things differently or change up your routine or are conscious, you slip into exactly what you always do. What's the first thing you do when someone leaves a table in a restaurant? You're on your phone. What's the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning? You reach for your phone. All of these things are automatic, and we are using them to soothe us, but what it's actually doing is keeping us stressed and keeping us locked in, and we all say we don't have time. So, rant over. I hope that's been helpful for some people, and I can tell you, when you follow through, it's not even about the phone, right? It's just about, even if you made one change that enriched your life, it will be worth it. You'll feel good about yourself. You'll realize there's more to life than just watching a screen. So have a great week, and I'll speak to you again soon.